I better say the usual. Hello, everyone. This is Lisa Ware, Senior Group Leader. Um, Today is called Yessave Team Coaching. And today is all about stuff that actually a lot of us should know, but I constantly, with all the queries I receive, I know people don't know stuff. So forgive me if for some of you, I'm telling you to suck eggs, okay? Some of this you might already know, but I know that there's some people that have been in a very long time and they don't even know the basics because it's quite scary, the questions I get answered. So, most of my time now, I'm going to be in our partner portal. In this case, it's going to be mine because I'm going to talk through stuff. Yes, you know you can watch this over and over again, but I suggest you make some sort of bullet point notes because I'm going to go through things and I'm going to sort of do this from a perspective of somebody that you've now introduced. You've now shown them how they really should make calls because what they're looking for is help and practice. And you've done a why with them and you've done a fast start plan. And the fast start plan has got a massive clue in the name. It's called Fast Start. But it may not just be me, that some of them just don't get off to that fast start, do they? Not all of them. And a lot of it, I'm going to take my responsibility. I do interview people greatly, but it's interesting how if they get even one or two tiny knockbacks, people's minds are that fragile that it dents them and they find it hard to get going. But there's all sorts of things we can do to help them build belief. Now, I'm going to talk about this. Not going to draw it because I've done it before. Imagine a stool. A stool usually has sort of like a tripod, three legs. And if you imagine each of those was a belief, if someone comes along and let's say they make a couple of calls and they don't get the response they want, they don't get an appointment booked, do you know what? One of those legs goes and of course it topples over. And what we've got to do is get them to a stool that has hundreds of legs. Now, if all of you were actually aware of how much interesting challenges come up to me and how much I still deal with, you would still realize that you can't waver my belief in the company. All right. It doesn't matter what happens. I've got it because I've got obviously hindsight is a wonderful thing, but I've got lots of experience. And the hardest part is to try. You can't give somebody hindsight because they've got to do the do, but you can help them with some skill stuff that gives them a little bit more. Now, I'm going to say something as a caveat here. This is not about giving them a Wikipedia of utility warehouse. All right. Because if we do that, believe me, they'll believe they need to know so much before they can go out there and do this. And then in reality, they don't need loads, but there are some basics. So look, I'm going to share my screen for the partner portal. And there we go. Let's pick it up. Okay. Okay. I think if I could have a thumbs up, can you see dashboard? Have we got the dashboard? Are you seeing? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right. So we've all got a similar looking dashboard. And just to show you, just like everybody else, look, 1st of December yesterday, and here I am, just like everyone else. I'm on 0 achiever points for December at the moment. Okay, just so everybody can see that. All right. Yes, I've got loads of this. I've got the whole year, but I start like this. Now, imagine a new person. You should have already shown them their account area. Just a recap of what account area is. It's your name here on the left-hand side. If we click the three dots, cog, my account, and this is stuff that's important. All right. So it was ensuring you showed them this, that they knew they had to verify themselves and they had to get an ID card. And if they wanted to change their email address, and that their customer account is linked to their own partner position so that they're earning off themselves. They can then know where, if they wish to be paid somewhere else, where they can change their password. And here it is, where they generate their public liability. Okay, because if we're going into people's houses and that, really, we don't show everybody, but it'd be a good idea to have it with us, all right, as something. Now, that's a basic. So if we then always click back to the dashboard, okay, we're on the dashboard here. I'm going to go back up. There we are. Now, there is all sorts of things here. In the beginning, this is where you show them where they're going to do their initial training. So I want to show you around, okay? And this is what I do with folks. So look, guys, over here, we've got events, and then there's something called learning and training. Now, listen, I'm not quite sure what goes in the minds of the people upstairs, okay? But I always considered even a virtual training was a training, but it's not. It's an event. Now, I can understand why I get queries. How do I book a training? Because in your first thoughts, you believe it was there, but it's not. So, guys, it's under the word events. I don't know who decided that, but believe me, senior group leaders have passed it up as we do, that this really is a little bit confusing. But let's click on events because this is very important. So, another thing we've been asking for about 5 years, okay, not long, but we've been asking if this could be kind of categorized, because the very first training that anybody needs to go on, watch my mouse. I'm grabbing the cursor here. And in fact, this is weird. The first training, you have to go to the bottom. Hang on. There we go. You have to go to the very bottom. And it's round here. Look, launch your UW business. Okay. Now, if I click that, it tells you a bit about it. Please say to them, do have a read. Yeah, because I book these with them. And I say, do have a read. And the aim of this is not, please guys, hear my words, not when would you like to do it. Right, we need to book you. Here's my language. We need to book you the soonest one. And at the moment, the soonest is this Thursday, the 4th of December. Now, granted, it's 12:30 to 1:30. That may not be convenient for those that work in the 9 to 5. All right. But the company very much makes it that there are different ones aimed at weekends, ones in the evening. So Tuesday the 9th, there's a 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Now, it says book this event. So let's say we did the first one, and I do it on their partner portal. It doesn't matter where they live because it's virtual. It's through Zoom. Okay, now I said this before, but I'm repeating it because it's important. You need to say to them, they're going to immediately that we book this, they're going to get an email. It could end up in their junk or spam. And most important, they are looking for in that email, there'll be a hyperlink that tells them that they click here, HERE, and that will get them in to the training. And it really is a good idea that they get themselves prepared at least 5 minutes before, so they're already in the room waiting. Okay, so don't tell them to log on. If it's 8 o'clock, don't tell them to log on at 8. They need to be logged on by at least 5 to 8. And tell them, make sure they flag that email so they know where to find it. Because one of the biggest things that happens, so many new partners said, "Oh, I couldn't find how to get on the training." Now, look, guys, if you've been with me the last few weeks, you see me, I send them out a WhatsApp and everything is itemized. But I've learned over the years, nobody listens to anything and nobody reads anything. So we have to repeat everything. Okay. So they book it and it goes into their bookings. Okay. And guys, perhaps a good idea, if you've not been on one of these in at least the last 6 months, book on one. Come and see what new people are getting so you have some understanding. All right. And there's no harm in repeating training because we learn by repetition. Okay. So let me go back to events again. Now, that's the first one. And some of you will be aware that when somebody brings in a new partner, I send out what I call a checklist of the things that they ought to be doing with that new partner. I consider that I know that other senior group leaders tell me they've copied me because I'm at the forefront of ensuring that people know what to do because we're trying to get duplication here. All right. So, what other things do they need to know? Well, at this time of year, really vital is they book a kickoff. By the way, if you haven't booked your kickoff yet, please do hurry up because it helps all of those of us that are organising this. It gives us an idea of the numbers that we've got to allow for and cater for. All right. So make sure that they know that they need to book one. They don't have to go to all of them. All right. A lot of them are on the same day. As you can see, there's quite a few here that are all on the 3rd, a couple there on the 10th. There's a couple on the 4th. But look, as you can see, they're all similar. Okay. They're all similar. So important. What's the next thing they need to know? Well, actually, it's Power Up. Saturday the 18th. Give them plenty of notice so that they can get on a book it. And the wording that we use is this. All the successful partners that are head of the pack are the ones that book the major events. You wouldn't miss an annual conference. You just wouldn't. If you were working for a company, you wouldn't miss it. What we're doing now, is a little bit like what I would call an induction. Do you remember the old days when you worked for someone, you had an induction? We need to do an induction with them. We need to point this stuff out. Please don't feel embarrassed that you're showing them stuff. Okay? Don't think you are going to put them off. Guys, if you think that by showing them this, it'll put them off, it tells me that they shouldn't have joined in the first place. That also tells me that you didn't interview them right as well. Okay, that's really important. Excuse me, but I just need I need a sip of tea. Right. There are lots of other trainings, but scattered all around, all over the place, are the buzz events. And that is a must. It's free and they need to book. You need to book a buzz with them. All right, because this could be a bit of a lonely business. And this is where you start to help them gel and that they feel part of the community and a chance to meet them too. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have signed somebody up, for example, if I sign someone up in Scotland, doesn't happen very often. All right. I'm not going to travel up to Scotland to meet them. No, I'm not. All right. I'll be meeting them a lot through Zoom, but I will get them to go to the nearest Scottish venue for a buzz because that's important. If you're down this way, which a lot of you are, I hope you've all booked Thursday, the 11th of December. It is the Bournemouth Buzz and it is also a bit of a party. We're going to ask everyone to bring something along, and we're going to make it into a nice, jolly, merry Christmas get-together. Okay, there you are. So, buzzes. Now, what else should we tell them about? Well, to be honest, there are lots of things, but don't straight away start saying to them they need to do a networking masterclass. No, I don't think so. Yeah. I would say that a webinar leading with cashback was a good thing to book. Yeah. Getting restarted, well, that's not for brand new people, but I'll tell you what, it's for everybody else. And in fact, if you did one of these every 2 months, I promise you, you'd have that many skills that you'd know about. You would be really, really making lots of appointments, definitely, and you'd be signing people up. So, what else have we got? Be a better mentor, not for new people. And they have to have 6 customers anyway to even start to mentor. Okay. What else have we got going on here? Getting multi-service customers. Yes. Would you say that was an important one in the beginning? Absolutely. Because let's be really open about this. We want people to row with both oars, which is recruiting and customers. But in the beginning, how do we earn money? It's customers. I think we're all aware we don't earn any money for recruiting a partner. We don't start earning off a partner until we help them be successful and they're earning money, and then we earn group income. So I'd say to you that getting multi-service customers is a must. Effective recruiting, I'd say that's one to book on when they've got a good 6 to 8 customers already under their belt. We know we want them to get some partners in the beginning, but if they do their calling right and they're asking for practice, okay, they're asking for practice, then what may happen is there will be some natural partners that come on because of the very nature of the way the presentation is done. Goal setting, marvelous stuff. Now, a brand new partner, you could get them on there, but I'd say that's wait. That's for all of us, because certainly some of us that have been in a long time, we often need to know what we're going to go for now, because why we joined in the beginning changes over time. And if we don't know why we're still doing it, believe me, you won't do it. Okay. New people, this will be in black, getting to STL. So will be getting to TL. That means they can't book it. But getting to future team leader will be available to them. That's a good one. And then this is one for everyone. Oh my God, I absolutely commend that this is one of the first trainings where it's called Insights that they do. And it's a telephone skills workshop. Let's have a look. When's the next one? And it is, let's see that, it's not till Tuesday, the 20th of Jan. Do you know what? It's book it. Book it. All right. So it's in there. What you may have to do is constantly remind people. As I say, they often don't remember. They're not organized. They often don't have diaries. They often don't put them in their calendar, their Outlook. So you often have to keep reminding people. All right. But that's good. So look, guys, that is events, which I suppose you and I would call training. But it's interesting what head office think it's called. All right. Now, what's the next thing they need to know? Right, guys, I want to scroll down because I think this is important. Quick links. You click it. A lot of people don't know this. A good idea is for them to copy this link and keep it in their phone. They could set up a contact. They could call it UW quick links, and they could have each link in there. So if they're needing that link, they know where to find it, just like that. Because a lot of people don't realize it is in the drop down box and it's there. Really important. Yeah. The customer sign up, join the club. Yeah. There's your personalized sign up page. Guys, if you don't know what this is about, click on it afterwards, play around. Partner recruitment, the link you need to help somebody join as a partner. If somebody's interested in being a connector, how to register. There's a little revamp on the appointment presentation. Okay, that's something we can look at another time. And then I want you to know this. UW opportunity videos is different to UW stories. So write this down, uwstories.co.uk. That's where all those wonderful 2-3 minute videos are, testimonials of people doing, partners doing UW. Now, different is an opportunity video. You can copy the link, you can paste it on a WhatsApp message or a text and send it to someone, and this is what they'll see. Shall I click it, guys? Let's show you if you don't know. Okay. Now, there are different ones. So we've got here, I think her name is Jahit or Jalheet. And God, I've forgotten his name. Forgive me. He's lovely. Oh, he's a financial advisor and he's absolutely brilliant. And he lives near Bath. Right. Oh, Daljeet, sorry, and John. Yeah. And then we've got Tamsin and Jason, Holly and Jogger. There's Hannah and Kelechi. And then there is the one that I adore, How You Earn. I share this a lot with people, everybody, because I like the fact that it explains about the customer bonus, the benefits, the achieving, the holidays, all of that incentives, and it also talks about the reoccurring, what we call residual income. But these, if you've not watched them, put it on your to-do list, sit down with a nice cuppa and watch each one. Okay, because they're all slightly different. So let's go back, which I think is here. There we go. Now, last but not least, this business card tool, please don't, listen, that's something for later. Don't start getting technical with new people, all right? They don't need that. But there's something you do need to know, because I can't believe how many people ask me, where do you find, they say, the tariff book? How do you find the cost of things? So down here, guys, can you see the word shop? That's the shop where you can buy stuff. Don't know if you're aware of that. Yeah? Marketing stuff. But see this, terms and conditions. If you click there, bottom right, everything's there. Tariffs and charges. It's all in there. Loads of it. If you click that, all right, get rid of that energy price cap thing. And everything you want to know is all in there. Because people are often looking for this and they don't know where to go. All right, so that's an important item. Let me go back to where we were. Okay. So there's quite a lot of stuff. And if we click that terms and conditions again, I've shown you that, but I also want to show you this is important. And people don't know where to find it. And it is really easy. So say to yourself, bottom right, T's and C's, and then you scroll down to business manuals. And here is what we affectionately know. It's called the opportunity booklet, but it's the compensation plan. If you've got somebody that wants to know how they earn and stuff, they need to be looking at this. and a guideline for UW partners. Really important. That is stuff for new people. I'm going to say this as I do often. Would you honestly take a job and not know the policies and procedures? Would you want to know how many days holiday you get? Would you want to know how much you earn? Yes, you would. And I don't know why this stuff isn't actually being shown to people. So I'm really hoping that this stuff helps you. Okay. So if we go now back to the dashboard, we're coming up to the time, but what I want to do is say to you, there is I'm going to do the next bit next week because I can't do this all in one fell swoop. Yeah. I'm showing you in the order that I think is important. I actually think some of this stuff, which is known as latest news, is quite important for people to see. And you can click on any of this and you'll get there. There's the quick links. There's details. Okay. And then you have things like latest customer changes down here. Now, the last thing I want to show you, yes, you can go to the bottom. Excuse me, I'm just moving you all around. I think this is a fundamental for new people. They need to click on My Business and you need to show them about customer order status. Because as customers are done, they need to know where to go to see what's happening. Right now, here we are. So I want you to see this. Can you see I've got a new occupier owner and it says service cancelled? This is a home move, okay? And the people that have gone in there have instantly cancelled. Now, interestingly, I've actually not had an advisory of that, which is quite interesting that I've not had it. Okay. Okay. But can you see this one? Now, these people have been with me since 2016. They're lovely. I see that. I've not been advised, but do you know what? I will make a call on that because I will do a quick search about broadband and see why did they cancel full fibre 500 when they obviously ordered it. Interesting. Yeah. So look, guys, I'm going to stop the share. Please do feel unmute yourselves because I'm going to do other stuff next week because otherwise I can't do this justice. What I've shown you is the things that I think are very relevant and very important. Okay. So does anyone have any questions about the training events and did anybody know where you could find the tariff charges before I showed you this? Oh, you did, Lindsay. I expect you did. I would expect you to. But that sort of stuff is quite important. Did you realize the amount of trainings there were and that they get an email, you've got to ask them to keep it, flag it, and make sure they know where to click to join that training. And I would say a good idea is the day of that training. Listen, guys, I run a really simple diary. You know I do, okay? But in my calendar, when I'm booking a training, as well as in my diary, I drop a note in there that comes to me at about 6 in the morning. So it comes up, I get all these notifications, and it will say that so and so's on a training. Guess what I am? On the blower, voice note, WhatsApp. You've got your training at such and such today. Make sure you're ready. Make sure way beforehand you found that email. All this stuff is going to help your new people have a much better chance of getting going. Yeah. Any questions? No? Was that helpful?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Brilliant. And by the way, did you all get to see Nick Schoenfeld, who's our finance? Oh, do you know that man? I've got so much respect for him because I don't know how he turns figures into fun, but he certainly does. And the poor chap has obviously got a stutter, but it doesn't hold him back, which I think is absolutely fabulous. And do you know what? There were some really cool slides there. I screenshot them and I've learned how to take out the picture of like Wes or Nick that's in the corner. So I've got that because I think they're really good things. Um, Next week we'll do part two of this and we'll go into the learning and training, which is all the stuff that is online learning. And I'm going to talk about where the emphasis should be. Okay, is that all right, folks? And
Yeah.
hopefully, I might have a bit of sanity because at the moment, my life outside of here is bonkers. See you all next week. Lots of love.
Good.
Bye bye.
Bye.